While the American public remains trapped in a constant cycle of political drama, viral distractions, and manufactured outrage, something far more dangerous is unfolding quietly behind the scenes, far away from social media feeds and cable news headlines. A historic financial extraction is taking place inside the global bullion markets, one that threatens not just the stability of the silver market, but the very foundation of U.S. economic and industrial power. You've been told for years that silver trades freely in a transparent market governed by supply and demand, but the truth is far darker. What is happening right now is a deliberate, legal, and highly sophisticated operation by the People's Republic of China to drain physical silver out of the United States and the Western financial system altogether. This is not speculation, and it is not theory. It is a calculated maneuver exploiting a structural weakness that Western banks, regulators, and governments either refuse to acknowledge or are actively helping to conceal. At the center of this operation is a massive and growing price discrepancy between the physical silver market in China and the paper-dominated markets in the West. On the Shanghai Gold Exchange, physical silver consistently trades at a premium of 10 to 15% above the prices quoted on Western exchanges like COMEX. That difference may sound small to the average investor, but in global commodity markets, it is enormous. It creates an irresistible arbitrage opportunity, a financial vacuum so powerful that it pulls every available ounce of real, deliverable silver out of Western vaults and redirects it straight into Chinese hands. While U.S. bullion banks continue to suppress prices through paper short selling and digital contracts, China simply bids higher for real metal, exploiting the West's obsession with leverage, derivatives, and paper profits. The result is a one-way siphon of physical wealth from New York and London into Shanghai. This matters because silver is not just an investment metal, it is the most critical industrial input in the modern world. Silver is embedded in every advanced weapon system, every missile guidance platform, every medical imaging device, every semiconductor, every smartphone, every electric vehicle, and every piece of green energy infrastructure. Without silver, modern civilization does not function. By draining the physical supply through arbitrage, China is not chasing profit alone. It is executing a long-term geopolitical strategy designed to cripple Western manufacturing, undermine military readiness, and secure dominance over the raw materials that will define future technological power. Internal data from COMEX vaults reveals a reality that regulators desperately want to keep hidden. Registered silver, the metal actually available for delivery, has collapsed to levels not seen in more than 2 decades. This means the entire system is functioning on borrowed time. If even a handful of major industrial players were to demand physical delivery today, the exchange would be forced into force majeure, effectively admitting it cannot meet its obligations. China understands this vulnerability perfectly. That is why it continues demanding physical metal, while Western banks quietly settle contracts in cash, hoping no one notices that the vaults are running dry. Right now, thousands of tons of high-purity silver are leaving Western ports under the cover of darkness, loaded onto cargo ships and sent east. This is not trade. This is capital flight. It is the silent evacuation of real wealth from an empire built on paper promises. While this happens, the American middle class is left holding digital account balances inside a banking system already buckling under hundreds of billions of dollars in unrealized losses. China has recognized that paper money is a dying illusion, and they are exchanging depreciating dollar reserves for tangible assets that have preserved value for over 5,000 years of human history. The financial establishment has spent decades conditioning the public to believe silver is outdated, volatile, or irrelevant. That narrative exists for one reason: accumulation. Behind closed doors, industrial manufacturers are paying hidden premiums just to secure enough silver to keep factories operating. If the public truly understood that the silver price displayed on trading apps represents metal that does not physically exist, the market would reprice violently and immediately. Triple-digit silver would not be speculation. It would be unavoidable. This silver drain is not occurring in isolation. It is part of a broader BRICS strategy to build a gold and silver-backed settlement system that bypasses the dollar, the SWIFT network, and the petrodollar entirely. While the West obsesses over digital derivatives and financial engineering, China is building a fortress of hard assets immune to sanctions, cyber attacks, and monetary manipulation. The evidence is visible to anyone willing to examine shipping manifests and vault reports instead of mainstream headlines. You are living inside a strategic trap. Inflation quietly erodes your purchasing power, while the assets capable of protecting your family are exported overseas at a fraction of their true value. Even worse, your bank deposits are being used to fund the very short positions suppressing silver prices, meaning you are unknowingly financing the destruction of your own financial future. This arbitrage drain is the smoking gun of a failing empire, exposing COMEX not as a price discovery mechanism, but as a paper facade enabling the hollowing out of America's industrial base. If you do not hold physical silver in your own possession, you are holding a promise from a system that is already insolvent. Once the point of no return is reached, there will be no physical metal available at any price. Supply chains will fail. Technology production will stall. The silver required for semiconductors, solar panels, and defense systems will sit behind guarded vault doors in China. This represents the largest wealth transfer in human history, unfolding in real time as the global financial reset accelerates. Insiders already understand what is coming. They are exiting the dollar and accumulating physical metal because they know that when paper fails, only physical ownership remains. The manipulation of silver prices is the final barrier preventing an inflationary explosion, but physical reality is now overwhelming digital illusion. Shanghai has effectively exposed the true value of silver in a world of extreme scarcity, leaving the Federal Reserve trapped between admitting the dollar is dead or losing every ounce of silver left in the system. Internal reports suggest major bullion banks are preparing force majeure clauses, unable to meet upcoming delivery demands without confiscating customer metal. This is the ultimate bail-in scenario, where digital silver holdings can be reclassified as unsecured claims overnight. China, meanwhile, has already secured its metal and moved it into private storage, fully aware that Western investors are still clinging to certificates backed by nothing. Governments will not stop this. Politicians are consumed by debt crises and short-term survival. The long-term industrial security of the nation has already been sacrificed. The push toward central bank digital currencies makes physical silver the last exit door for financial freedom, and China is rapidly closing that door by buying everything available. The cost of freedom is rising exponentially. If the average family owned just a small amount of physical silver, this system would have collapsed years ago. Instead, ignorance was cultivated, and now the consequences are arriving. Banks fear a silver rally because it exposes dying currencies and failing balance sheets. Every rise in silver is a vote of no confidence in central banks. The final phase will involve a violent price spike designed to scare the public into selling metal back to banks just before the reset. Do not fall for it. Once physical silver is gone, it will never return at a reasonable price. China is not selling, and neither should you. The physical shortage is the truth the system cannot survive. Holding silver is holding history, power, and independence. China is willing to risk financial war to possess it. That alone tells you everything you need to know. The final countdown has begun, and responsibility for your financial survival rests entirely with you. Stay focused on physical reality, not digital illusions. The trap is closing. Only those holding truth and metal will endure what comes next.